Azimio continues to blame President Ruto's regime for what it terms as unwarranted use of excessive force on demonstrators, where more than 30 of the coalition's supporters lost their lives. Azimio says President William Ruto does not respect the Constitution of Kenya and has repeatedly violated the fundamental freedoms, including the freedom to picket enshrined in Article 37. Raila and his team have vowed not to relent in their quest to exert pressure on the government to address problems bedeviling the nation, as our reporter Henry Tende now files.
For the first time since President William Ruto took over the leadership of the country, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta shared a public podium with Azimio leaders Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and other coalition leaders in an interdenominational requiem mass for 30 supporters killed during the protests. The mourning of those killed by alleged police brutality, providing a stage for politics. Azimio leaders directing their anger on the government and the police for killing the demonstrators.
Like law-abiding citizens who also had faith in our constitution, they gathered to exercise their right to peaceful assembly and free speech. They hoped that someone sitting in the presidency, the National Treasury, the Kenya Revenue Authority and Parliament would take note of and act on their grievances. They ended up taking bullets.
Marehemu Jomo Kenyatta, when he hears that the president can be congratulating police when they shoot our children, shame on you, William Ruto. Shame on you once again.
Kenya Kwanza has always insisted Raila Odinga and his team are using demonstrations to overthrow the government. But today, Azimio has refuted such claims, saying President Ruto is afraid to face the reality that he cannot fulfill the pre-election promises like lowering the cost of living.
The people we have lost and those nursing injuries had no capacity to overthrow a government. They had no capacity to own guns. Indeed, they had none. They lacked the very basic of the basics. Unga, sugar, milk, school fees, bus fare, and rent.
Azimio has raised concern that President Ruto is not respecting the Constitution and the fundamental freedoms enshrined in it, including that of peaceful demonstrations.
Is Article 37 of our Constitution mere words of no value or relevance and offers no protection to citizens? Has Kenya Kwanza indeed suspended the Constitution?
Today we are truly honored to have our fourth president here, who through his handshake with his brother Raila Amolo Odinga united this country, and who has gone through a lot. We have all witnessed as Kenyans his property being raided, his sheep being carried away, his mother being harassed, and just a few days ago, his son Jomo being raided at night to harass a man who has led this country for 10 years and who has been a head of state in the manner that Uhuru Kenyatta is being harassed, is a problem, not just for Uhuru Kenyatta, it's a problem for all of us and the region. So today we want to say those who have chosen the path of vengeance, the path of vindictiveness, we want to say to them, you cannot lead a country through vengeance.
With the High Court having lifted the suspension of the controversial Finance Act of 2023, Azimio now says it will reconvene tomorrow to deliberate on the way forward.
I also want to announce on our behalf that on Sunday the 30th of July, that is day after tomorrow, we shall communicate to the nation our next course of action with regard to anti-tax protests.
Retired President Uhuru Kenyatta and Azimio leader Raila Odinga did not speak during the event, instead giving the honors to Kalonzo Musyoka and other coalition